When you start thinking about supply chains and the impact of some of these, these conflicts that are out there and potential conflicts, and how does this affect your supply chain? So, when I look around the world, my biggest concern continues to remain Russia and Ukraine. And yet they're going to continue, Putin's going to continue to throw men at the fight. And the concern, of course, is at what point in time does this begin to escalate? Now you're beginning to see that some of the European countries, ex-NATO, so it's like, okay, maybe France, maybe Poland, maybe somebody might decide to send trainers, they might decide to, and of course now we have ramped up and we've allowed the Ukrainians to use our ATACMS, a sophisticated tactical missile system, to engage Russian targets in Russia. I think it's the right call, but the concern is always about, will this begin to escalate? And the escalation is a concern. Right now it is, as horrific as it is, it's fairly constrained. But if it gets unconstrained, this becomes a cascading effect across the entire world. And certainly when you think about supply chains and you think about Europe, this could be devastating. Then obviously you're looking at China. And I'm a believer that, the last thing we want to do is go to war with China. We've got to find a way to engage with China because the Chinese don't want to go to war with us. We don't want to go to war with China. Let's figure out a way to lower the temperature. I saw that Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin met with the Chinese Minister of Defense. That's good because we've got to make sure we've got open lines of communications if something goes south. China, of course, is more of an economic competitor. It's more of a competitor in terms of not a competitor, but they are, of course, continuing to steal intellectual property, which is impacting the biotech community as well as just about everything else. That's concerning. I mean, I look at Gaza. We would have said early on that if this was going to spiral out of control, it would have happened early in the fight. You're still beginning to see some concerns between Israel and Hezbollah. But I think once again, as terrible as that is, it seems pretty constrained. So the real issue globally is whether or not any of these conflicts will begin to affect the supply chain and the potential to support the research and the clinical trials and these sorts of things in various parts of the world.